beautiful friends. It's Amanda here, and it's time for my September ranking. This video is a little monthly roundup of everything new that I reviewed in the month of September. I have a bunch of collections, I have a bunch of individual products, and we also have my collaboration project that was announced and released this month. I will give you a wild guess where that one's going to rank. We might have to invent a new tier for the Enchanted Autumn collection because it is really just above and beyond. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to try my best to stay focused. There's a lot of things that I quite enjoyed this month. I don't think that I have any least best products, but you know what? I think I said that last month and then I ended up having a least best. Let's just dive in to the very first thing that I reviewed in the month of September. That is the new foundation from Huda Beauty. This is the Easy Blur foundation. I did not expect to enjoy this one as much as I have. I really thought that this was going to be a no-go for my dry skin. Blurring things typically are not very flattering on my particular skin type, but this is an anomaly. This has worked so well for me. I would say 75% of my foundation wearing in the month of September was this Easy Blur foundation, and I have just thoroughly enjoyed it. It's definitely a favorite for me. So this easily goes to the top tier. Love, adore, obsessed, impressed. Just a great way to start off the month of reviews for me. The next new items that I reviewed all come from this NYX and Beetlejuice collection. I did not purchase every single item. This whole PR set thing was already sold out by the time I went to purchase. So I ended up with the little cheek palette, 2 of the 4 butter glosses, and then I also got this clear gloss, which was actually my favorite of the lip products. I got the eyeshadow palette and then 2 out of the 3 eyeliners. Some things I did like more than others. I thought that the eyeshadow palette performed really well. The lip products were great for me. Typically, I get along well with NYX lip products, so that's not a surprise. The cheek palette is interesting, maybe not exactly my perfect colors. And then the eyeliners were underwhelming for me. In general, I would say this all evened out to be very middle of the road for me. I'm gonna put this sort of hovering here, straddling the line. I would say this is very mid-range product as far as my reviews go. It's a little bit too exciting to be just meh, but it's not quite performance-wise in line with I Am in Like with You because some things worked so much better than others. So I'm gonna put this right on the middle here. I do love the theming though. I love spooky things. I love Halloween. Fall and Halloween are really my vibe, my time to thrive. Hence the next thing we're going to look at, which is my Enchanted Autumn collection. This is in collaboration with Fantasy Cosmetica. There's 5 different tinted lip balms that all have fall scents. There is a really glorious fall candle that's not your typical pumpkins and cinnamon. It's really more of a citrus pine. Think of like a fresh outdoorsy men's cologne with a little bit of an earthy kind of spicy ginger. It's glorious. And then my dream eyeshadow palette, which is filled with desaturated, kind of dusty, offbeat neutrals, and a few really rich jewel tones. Could never say enough good things about this collection. It should be in a league of its own. I am inventing a new tier. Best of the best. I don't know. I think I'm allowed to invent any sort of award system that I want, considering I made this up to begin with. So this is just above and beyond. This is the champion. Definitely favorite thing I reviewed this month. Favorite thing I've reviewed this year. Would not be a stretch. I will spare you any more going on about this, but just know that no words will ever describe how happy I am with how this collection came out. I love it. It is my favorite thing, probably of all time. Next one we're going to talk about is another indie brand collection. This is the Eternal Twilight palette and the Luminous and Shadow collection from Odin's Eye. So in this collection, we have one big mega palette, and then there are 3 blushes and 3 highlighters. I liked the matte blushes, but the shimmery blush and the very, very sparkly highlighters just didn't really do it for me. And the eyeshadow palette, I think, is pretty high performance. I love the theming. I love the idea. I love the artwork. I do wish that this was made into 2 separate palettes so that you could have the warm side and the cool side individually. I am a lot more drawn towards this shadowy, cool toned blues and grays type of color story more so than the warm side. Just this orange, pink, and brown color story doesn't feel as inspiring to me. So, this is another collection where I enjoyed some things and some just didn't work as well for me. I would say overall, I enjoyed this collection as a whole more than the Beetlejuice collection. So, I think I'm going to put this Odin's Eye Luminous and Shadow collection solidly in the I am in like with you category. Even the super sparkly highlighters that I don't necessarily love for my face, I still think that they will work for me either as like a body glitter type of treatment. Don't come for me, okay? I was a teen in the late 90s and early 2000s, so this is still an option for me. I can still see myself wearing this kind of sparkle on my shoulders or maybe even on my arms and legs if I'm doing a little party dress moment. I've done it before and I'll do it again. Plus, I will have already been using them for my eyes. Not a complete bust, even though it's not something I necessarily gravitate towards and try to add into my collection. But I like the blue side of the palette and the matte blushes enough that I think this deserves a slightly higher ranking than the Beetlejuice collection. Here we have the After Hours collection. This is the fall release from ColourPop. This collection has a 16 pan eyeshadow palette, 3 of their shadow sticks, 3 of the Power Pout lipsticks, and 2 cream blushes. Personally, I can kind of live without the lipsticks and the shadow sticks. I just don't love a super matte lip for myself right now. I'm much more in a tinted lip balm, hydrating gloss, lip oil time of my life. And the shadow sticks just aren't the type of product that I personally gravitate towards and use a lot. I think the palette's pretty. I like the color story. I don't love the fact that there are some of their pearlescent glitters in there. I do love the cheek products. So this one I would say is also much like the other collections that we're talking about here. It has some hits, it has some misses. I would put this probably third in the ranking of these collections. I would say the Odin's Eye would be first, NYX Beetlejuice in second, and then After Hours in third. Just because I think that the colors are kind of boring in this one compared to these other two. It's just not quite as exciting, inspiring. It just doesn't feel as special to my personal makeup collection compared to these other two that we're ranking it against. It's not bad, it didn't underperform. It's just not really exciting enough for me. The next round of products that I'm going to rank come from my trying new makeup video. I tested out some new things from the drugstore, some that were more high-end products, and then also some indie brand things. So we have a wide variety from my trying new makeup video. There's the Pacifica Dream Lit Glow Concealer. There's a little clear brow pomade from Surratt. the Luminous Silk Cheek Tints from Armani Beauty, the new milky versions of the Kaja Juicy Lip Oils. And then also in that video, I used this Gargoyle palette from Unearthly. And I also tested a new mascara. This is the Milani Anti-Gravity Mascara. And I've been using these things more since I filmed that video a little over a week ago. So I do have some more fully formed thoughts now. Let's start with the Gargoyle palette. I would say this is solidly hovering between the I am in like with you category and the love adore category. I've used it a couple more times. The shadows perform really, really well. There are a couple of colors in here that aren't my ideal, particularly some of these lighter blues and greens, just not quite shades that I personally like to use a lot. That's really the only thing that's keeping this from moving up to the very top tier here. There's just a couple of shades that aren't my exact ideal, but the performance is great. The artwork is cool. The color story is really fun. I have really, really liked this overall. So this is solidly at the top for me. The Kaja lip oils, the new milky lip oils, I have been running back to. They smell so good. They're super comfy. I love all three colors that they sent me. This is absolutely a daily use product for me since I tested it in that video. So this is another easy top of the pack type of product. Let's talk about this clear brow pomade. I think this will be my lowest rank for me. It wasn't terrible by any means, so I don't want to fully put it in the least best category. I actually really like the bristly brush. I've never used a brow brush like this before, so I don't hate it. I'm not raging against it enough to put it in the least best category, but it didn't do a super stellar job of holding my brow hairs in place. Admittedly, I have some pretty crazy, wiry, all over the place brow hairs. So I know that I can be challenging to any brow gel, but I do have several that work really well for me, and they're way less expensive than this one. So I just thought overall this didn't really work well for me. Now, admittedly, I haven't gone back to it too much since testing it just because it really doesn't do the job for me. Perhaps I should give it more of a shot. I can admit that. But for me, this is my least favorite thing that I reviewed all month long, unfortunately. I'm going to put the Luminous Silk Cheek Tint in the I am in like with you category. I really enjoyed these. I think all three colors that they sent to me in PR are beautiful. This applies nicely. It wears really well throughout the day. The reason why this isn't in the top tier for me, even though I have really enjoyed using it, is because I have tried a lot of great liquid blushes this year, and a few others that I like just as much as these are literally 1/3 of the price. So I just have a hard time being obsessed with something that's great, works well, but I could get the same experience for a third of the price. So that's what's really keeping these from moving up. Yes, it's a luxury product. There's certainly nothing wrong with just enjoying a luxury experience. But for me, I would rather be able to buy, two or three shades for the same price. Moving on to the Pacifica concealer, I'm putting this in the just meh category. It did work okay for me. It definitely wasn't a complete flop. It didn't look terrible, but it was a little bit dry looking on me throughout the day. When I would apply it, it looked great, but as I would wear, it got a little dry looking, particularly in that under eye area. And the shade range is disappointingly small, so I have a hard time really getting excited about recommending this concealer. It's okay, it's not terrible, it's just meh. You know what I mean? A new mascara to me this month is the Milani highly rated anti-gravity mascara. I've been using this for the past, I'd say 10 days now, and overall, I'm very impressed with this one. It doesn't make my lashes look clumpy or spidery. It's not super duper dramatic, which for me personally is a plus. I do prefer a semi-natural look to my lashes. I do like a fluttery separated lash, and then just to get a little bit of volume, a little bit of lift and kind of definition from my mascara. So this works really well for me. I don't have any flaking throughout the day. It removes easily for me. Holds on, holds a curl. It does what I need it to do. When it comes to a mascara, I think I need more than, 10 days to really decide if I'm going to be wholeheartedly obsessed with it, but I would easily put this in the I am in like with you category. And this has potential to move up and become a staple. I could see myself repurchasing this mascara. So that definitely lets me know that it deserves a top of the pack type of spot. Very last thing in this September ranking is the new ColourPop Power Pout Matte Lipsticks. I just did a whole review with these. I lip swatched a bunch of shades and I talked in depth about the formula. I did a kiss test, all of that stuff. These impress me with their transfer proof ability. I didn't expect them to be as solidly transfer proof as they are. The thing for me is this just isn't the type of lip product that I'm personally wanting to wear right now. So just remember that these rankings are really my opinion and not necessarily saying whether a product is all good or all bad. This just doesn't fit into what I'm looking for out of a lip product in my life right now. And that's why it's not going to really rank that high. I'm inclined to put this in the just meh category. Again, I want to reiterate, these don't underperform. They're just meh for me because I don't want a super matte lip. I already have very dry skin. I'm about to turn 39, so in the beauty world, I have what is considered mature skin. So I have, more cracks and crinkles and wrinkles on my lips, and matte products just don't look very flattering on me. They don't feel comfortable. I think you can tell based on this ranking that a lip oil, a tinted lip balm, that's the type of thing that's going to rank highly for me. And a super transfer proof matte lipstick is great. It has its place in the beauty world. That place just isn't on my lips right now. So these aren't bad. They certainly aren't bad. If you want that super matte look and feel on your lips, I think you're going to love these. I think a lot of people are going to love them. I just want to be clear. I think these are good. They're just not good for me. As usual, I'm going to link all of the review videos for these products down in the description box. If any of these things caught your interest, you want to hear more information, maybe you want to see some looks or swatches, close-ups, things like that, all of that is going to be one click away down in the description box. So make sure you check that out. Check out these other videos so that you can get a little bit more of my opinion and more of an understanding of how these things worked for me. I would love to hear if you tried anything new this month. What have you been enjoying? Have you tried any of the same things that I have here this month? I always love to hear what you think about things, whether we agree or disagree. I just like to hear your take on stuff too. So make sure you leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!